Okay, hi guys, this is Anisa. So I know it's been a long time since I've done any video, and I kept thinking lately, what can I do to help you and help me also. So I know I promised that I'm gonna make a video while I'm trading live, but because it's hard now to find a very good day to take more than 3 or 4 trades that are perfect for me. I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna do based on today's video, which was done on the 4th of April. I'm just gonna show you like a short 30 minutes how I'm looking and how I'm about to take a trade live. So I might have a few times when I'm chatting because I'm using the same screen, so in case I jump, you know why. Okay, so we know from today's trading session that here we are, that okay, the GU was up. Okay, let's go a bit further. Yeah, that the GU was up, and this is a reversal happening, so we were just about to wait for it to come either to the 15 minutes or to the 5 minutes down. Same story with EU. EU is up on 15, on 5. We have a 1 hour here. We also have a red 4 hour, but this disappears at some point. Then I don't trade the UJ, so I'm just gonna skip the UJ. But the UJ I think was up. Then we have UC, which is up now, but because you see it's so high at the top, it depends on 1 hour and 4 hour, it's gonna come down, and it came down at the end. I did take, I think, 1 trade and you see up before the big move happened down. Okay, so we're gonna focus on GU up, EU up, and UC maybe we'll try another up before the big move happens down. So what I do, I've established a trend. I'm looking now at the 50 minutes orange road. So where are the previous candles at? They're above the orange road. They're above the orange road. Here they're above the orange road. So that tells me, okay, the trend is up. The position of the candles are up. I'm just gonna look for ups until with the new retest and a new candle that's closing below, then I'll know I'm gonna go for downs. But for now, I'm going for up on GU, EU, and UC for now. So then I look at the arrows. So we have a 15 minutes down, we have a 5 minutes down. So that tells me this move is still happening because it's a strong bond between the 5 and 15 minute signal. So I'm just going to let it either, obviously you can see we have a 5 minute that already touched the orange rope, but this is for me too dangerous to take because we still have this 15 minutes. Unless if that 15 minutes arrow would have disappeared like Jazz mentioned today, but it didn't. So this suggests to me that this 5 minute is no good for the up. So oh god, I'm talking too much. So I'm gonna wait until this 15 minutes either disappears or it comes and touches down the orange road. Then I'm gonna consider a trade up on the GU. Okay, let me just stop it for a moment. So, same story on EU. We still have a 15 minutes down, and we have a 5 red up. This is a no-go for me because I must have either a green candle with no signal that could help me, that's obviously above the orange road, that could tell me that it's going up, or an arrow with me. But because I have this small 15 minutes red, I'm not going to take it. So even if it looks great and you can see it started from the bottom, I'm still not taking it because of the 15 minutes. So let's wait. Okay, so we get some more help, a yellow down, but it disappears and now it suddenly turns into an up, but still the 15 minutes is there. Same story on E. You see, the 5 minutes barely worked, or even if it went for maybe a few pips, 3 or 4 pips, and now it's going down. Why? Because you had the 15 minutes down. It never told you that you can go down. So we have to wait for a new 15 minutes. And I'm waiting. Also, another thing, another tip that Benny mentioned, which I also take into consideration, is counting the blue chart orange road before I start the session. So if it's up, I'm looking for ups. If it's down, I'm looking for downs. So the blue charts were both on GU and EU up, which suggested to me that it's still gonna carry on up. Now let's wait for more. So when you see these arrows, these candles sitting like this in the air, they're either gonna they have to at some point come down, or they're gonna go for a bit higher, and then a blue comes in and then it pushes it right back down. Now, look at this. I've just noticed this. So, on EU, we have a new candle that I just printed. And this is kind of gone, and it's a small 5 red, so I don't think this is going to have a lot of potential to go down. So this now is interesting, but because we said we're looking for signals on 15 minutes and 5, we're only going to do that. But I want to show you that this also works perfectly before getting a new arrow on the 15 minutes. So I'm going to go back to here, and we're going to wait, and I'm going to tell you where I would normally get in. I would definitely get in as soon as this arrow disappears, and probably be around here. I would get in. Okay, here we are. We got a 5 minutes. Oh, now. So at 92 exactly now, you see, when we had the signal and we had the DX red, I would get in, and we would look for 5 pips. Let's see if it gave, because you can see it goes all the way up to 95. I remember it broke it up to 97 for sure, so we gotta wait. But it would have been much perfect if we could have taken it from down here. But of course you had the 15 minutes down, so that's a bit of a risk, and that's why I don't like taking it. So let's see where it goes. So that was the perfect entry, as you can see. I would have definitely preferred for it to be a bit much lower, but still it was below the orange road, and you had the DX in and the months, so that was the perfect thing. 94, so now we're already 2 pips in. And you have a 5 with you, but again, it's not the perfect trade because you don't have a new arrow in 15 minutes, but it's still great. Why? Because the new candle is above the orange road. The previous candle finished closed above the orange road, which suggests to you that whatever is coming back now on 5 minutes, it's gonna take you up, which is actually doing the same thing now. Okay, let's you have to wait, I think it's probably like 5 minutes or something, and it won. Uh-huh. $95. Come on, 2 more pips. So you can see now we have to kind of wait for 2 more pips, because if we would have taken it from down here, it would have already won. But because we took it a bit late for the fact that we didn't have the DX or the momentum, and the DX and momentum both came down there, down here. Obviously, we need to stretch it a bit, and now we have to wait for it to break. But that's still safe. Why? Again, check your 15 minutes, check your 5 minutes. You're still safe. Check your DX. It's still red. It didn't change into green, so that means you have to wait for it to kind of push it through. So now we're at 96, and we're 1 more pip, and that's a 5-pip move. There we are, 97. Right now, it just went to 97. Yeah, that's it. So you see, that's one trade that you just won. Why? Because you waited for this 15 minutes candle to either finish or disappear. But obviously we had a new 15 minutes candle coming up. We had a 5 minutes and a new arrow came up. And then we started looking at the blue chart. Where is the candle at? At which level, and which way is it going? So it was around here, and suddenly on a split second we had the mom on green and the momentum in red. I know it's fast, that's why it's very important, and that's why sometimes I get in arguments with my boyfriend, obviously, because he sees me and he sometimes sees me chatting, and he's like, stop chatting, you need to focus on the charts, because the movements happen so fast that if you don't get it in time, guess what? You get in when the wave happened, and you're probably right at the end or at the top or at the bottom, and you might lose that trade because you didn't pay attention. So you saw how fast this happened, and how easy it was then to get in and to have no worries that it won't win, because you had everything with you. Now, this is again not a perfect trade for me because it didn't have a 50 minutes error, but I would take it. For newbies, I would prefer that you have a 50 minutes with you. I think for me, 50 minutes arrows are more important than a 5 because they show you the way in the direction. but this was also great. Why? Again, your candle is green and it opened above the orange road, showing signs that it's gonna go up. And the same thing on the previous candle. The the candle closed. The position is above the orange road, so that's safe. Okay, now let's look for another trade. So it's the same story on GU, but I don't like the blues. Because you never know in the next 1 minute, even if this is a great trade and a lot of people want it, you never know if an error comes next to it and then suddenly takes it down. Again, when a blue shows up, it tells you that a reverse is going to happen anytime, and you don't know when. It might be at the next candle or in the next 2 candles. So why risk it when you can just get into safe trades? Okay, now we can look at the UC and we can see that the trend is changing, but I would prefer the 1 hour. I would still, this is perfect 15 minutes with 5, but again, we don't have a 1 hour with us. And I would prefer to get a 1 hour because this is pointing up even though it's underneath. It's still pointing up, and look at all these candles. They're all above the orange road. The same situation here, they're all above orange road. And this is the test that's probably gonna take it all the way above the below the orange road, and we'll make now UC officially a trade below the orange road. So this is why I'm not gonna take this, because we don't have a 1 hour with us, and this might be just disappearing, and then suddenly you're up and you're just losing because you entered to the downside. Okay, I might be talking too fast because I'm excited, but I'm gonna try and speak as slow as possible. Let's try another trade. So I hope you caught that. If not, I'm gonna possibly show you 2 more, 3 more trades like this. Okay, so GU is a nice one. It's similar to EU, like I said, but it has the blues, and it also has no arrow. But again, you see, it closed above the orange road, and this is above the orange road. It's kind of in the air, and when I see candles like this in the air, this just tells me, see, look at that, it just popped back here. What did I just tell you? If you have a blue, it might just happen in the next candle, you get a yellow with it, and it's pushing you down. And this is exactly what it's gonna do. So I was gonna say that when I see these floating candles, I'm expecting, I am expecting them to come down here. This is telling me, okay, this is it, Anisa, stop taking them up, because it's supposed to come down, because it's in the air, it's not touching anything. It's supposed to come down. It touched the top BB band, it touched the top BB band, it touched the top BB band. That's telling me it has to come down. But am I gonna go in for a down because I'm certain it's gonna come down? No. Why would I go for a down? Why would I risk it? My trend is up, like MT's pointing. I'm only going for ups. I'm not going for downs. And I'm not taking blues, no matter what. So now the pullback is happening. And you can see on EU the same thing. See? Even if you could even be such a great trader that you could take the pullbacks too, but I don't want to take them because I don't want risk. I do not want to risk anything. It's so much easier and calm and stress-free to just take trades with the trend and with good signals. So now we're waiting for another trade up on either GU or EU. Hopefully we get a 15 minutes on EU. On 15 minutes. We don't need to have them on both, especially now that we had the previous 5 pink. As long as we get a new 15 minutes up, this is gonna push it through to the up because it's a strong trend. So nothing on UC, no new hour showing. I think it's gonna come at 3. I think it came or 1 250 or something. So we're just waiting. So again, the pullback is happening. You see how it took it all the way up to here, and it's still gonna carry on. It touched the orange road here. It's touching the orange road here. We have a DX that's green. This is a red, so it's clearly telling us this is a no-go trade because it's the movement of pullback. It's still happening. It's not over. Oh, here we are. So you see has a flashing 1 hour pink. Let's wait for a bit until it kind of settles. Now it's really late to get in. Why? Because look where the candle is at. It's at the bottom of the BB band on blue chart. It's at the bottom, this is already late. If we wanted to take this, we would have taken it from here, but we didn't take it because we didn't have a 1 hour. And even the 1 hour now that's showing up, it's flashing. So we need to let that stick in and then consider taking it. We need to let it go down, then come back for a pullback to the orange road or to the VV band, which is even better. Because I like taking trades from the BB band, not really from the orange road, but both work the same way. And now the DX has changed into green, so probably there might be a pullback, and then we'll go back again down. So nothing on the G. We still have this reversal happening or a pullback. On EU, the same thing. So just usually when there's nothing to trade, I just follow these blue chart signals and candles. I just look at them where they are, just to get my eyes used to the blue chart price action and how it goes, because this really is the key to winning your trade, in the sense that if you enter it in the right at the right place, it's bound to win. And even if you might get an error against you in the next 3 minutes, it's still gonna win, because the move has to push it to the upside. If you took it from the down and it touched the top, the bottom BB band. This is why it's so safe and easy to trade, and that's why maybe sometimes I might enter before moms or DX show, because I'm so certain of the trend that it will follow it. But we don't do that because we're newbies, and newbies take 15 with 5 with the trend. And we're waiting. So UC is doing a pullback right now. It's probably gonna touch this orange road, and then it's gonna come down. Now we're looking to take this if the 1 hour comes back, and probably it might touch the top BB band. If it does, even better. So let's follow this too, and let's see which trade we can take faster. so we're still in the pullback area here. The same situation here. The 1 hour disappeared, but I'm sure it's gonna come back. Definitely. Now, why did this 1 hour come? Because look how nice you see went up and up and up. And now it obviously touched the top BB band, but also the golden road, which suggested now it's time for a retracement. And now it's time for the situation to change because it reached the top 1 hour. Okay, so this is normally what I would look at. See this red candle happened here. It broke the BB band, and suddenly, as soon as you see this breaking, you expect the next candle to become green and to start from the bottom. Now, I would take this normally, but because of the blue and the yellow being here, I don't like it. Because this has a power over the next 2-3 candles, and I don't like that. Or it might not, because it's against the trade, but I don't care. I need to have something with it, or no, not the blues. So if this would have been disappearing and we would just had the pink, I would have taken this and probably it would have won. It might still win here, but still, it's risky. Again, we have blues on 15 and 5, and you never know when another pair comes in on here, and then it doubles with, it just matches with the 5, and it takes it down for hard 15 pips, and you don't want to do that. So we're waiting. The same story here. You see how it touched here, it pierced, and now it's going up. Now I would take this in comparison to GU. I would take the EU. Stop talking, Anisa. See how nice it went? That was probably 5 pips. Easy move. And we had the DX, and we have the momentum. So this is a perfect one. But again, not perfect for newbies. Why? Because you don't have a 15 minutes and you need one. And we're gonna wait for one until it shows up. Now this is at 90, I think this started at 90 something, and it's at 96 already, so it would have won already 6 pips if you would have taken it from there. This is too high. Even if you see some of the blue chart arrows come quite late. And here, I still don't take them because it's, even if it's from the orange road, because I like the ones that are coming from the bottom. Mainly also because I'm looking for 8 to 10 pips in a trade. And you can easily get that if you take it from here. Of course, if you take it from the orange road, then it's only going to have a potential of 5, 6. It might have more than that, but you're risking because you're waiting at the mercy of the BB bands to be broken. Hi, Mercy. Not you, Mercy. Just the mercy of the BB bands. Okay. Let's see, what do we have here? Now, this move just happened, and we had the 1 hour. Let me go back a bit and show you if we could have gone in. No, we couldn't have gone in. You see, it started already from the orange road, but because we didn't have the 1 hour with us, it wasn't safe for us to go. Now, for pro traders, you could have easily, if you would have been a pro trader, you could have easily taken this because you knew you had the 15 minutes with you. The price action is below, and you knew it was going to go down, but we didn't have any 1 hour just now, and as soon as this appeared, it's kind of late for us to enter, so we're not going to enter it. Even if it's going to go for 5 pips, we don't care. If we get bad habits in, that's what we're going to get. We might win this one, but you don't know about the next one. Okay, let's see another trade. Come on. I know there's gonna be an arrow up on both EU and GU in 15 minutes, so we're gonna wait for that to happen. See what I'm telling you? See, we could have gotten in here, and now suddenly the next candle's coming up, and boom, we're up 5 pips in minus. That's not great, and that's not ideal, so we're not going to do that in here. We're trading safely. And you know when you feel calm and relaxed and your palms are not sweating and you just know the trade's gonna win, that's the feeling that we're looking for. We can't trade under stress because that means we're doing something wrong. We're not going by the rules, we're going against the trade, or against a trend, or against an arrow, and that's not a long-term or a permanent goal here. That's just gonna bring you some quick money, and guess what? That quick money, you might not even have the chance to withdraw it because you might just eat it from your losses. So Why risk it? Just calm down and learn the good habits. It might take you a few months, but trust me, it's gonna help you for life. And it's probably gonna make you a billionaire for life if you really want to have this work. I could have quit so long ago, but I didn't because I believed in this, and I've seen so many people that have their lives have changed so much. So I'm not gonna quit this, and I'm gonna make this work, and I did it. So now it's your turn to do that. Just relax, sit calmly, and just watch the movements of the trades. Okay, we're still having nothing around here. Nothing on the 15 minutes due. Now, this is telling me, and this is telling me that actually this, because it's touching the orange road, might go up nicely, but we still need a perfect trade, and we still need an arrow with it. GU, it should come down to here or to here before we get an arrow up. Okay, UC is slowly trying to pull back to here, and then we could definitely take it down. I'm chatting too much. I'm either not chatting or chatting too much. I'm always on the extreme. I have to figure this balance out because it's not helping. Okay. Come on, trades. Show up. Oh, here we are. Okay, so we might see something on the EU. Now this again, this is a trade I would definitely take. Potential trade. Why? Because it's above the orange road, it's above the orange road, it started from the bottom, and it's gonna go up. See? Boom, 97, and look how late the arrow appeared. See? So that means the blue chart is telling you beforehand that this is gonna be a move up if you trust it, and you have to learn to trust it. And most of the time, 5-minute arrows will show up when blue chart has already done its job. That's why I'm listening to the blue chart arrows and to the blue chart candles. Now this was too low for us to get in. we needed to retrace up to here, because I'm trying to teach you the best place to take it. Look at this, how nice this happened. Okay, so it looks like we're only having 5 minutes. Okay, let's try with the 5 minutes, just for the sake of it. So we have the DX, I think. We have the momentum. And as soon as we get the next candle, we can get in. The next green candle. And the next green candle is printing, but I'm chatting. Oh, here it is. So 76. So we entered 76 or 77. Let's say 77. Okay. We entered at 77. We don't need it flashing. We have this green. We have this red. That's perfect. And we're going for 8 pips up to 82. Uh-huh. $79, $80. 2 more pips, and that's already a win. Again, this is not a perfect trade. Why? Because we don't have a 50 minutes with us, but this still works. If you see it, and if you learned how to watch them and when to take them, you can still win it. 81, 1 more pip, and that's it. We won it for 5 pips. Stop chatting, girl. I think it went to 82. Let's see. I was chatting and I couldn't see, of course. I think it did already when it went to 82, probably. Anywho, that's gonna come back up in probably 2 minutes. See? Always when you have a 5 minutes, expect it to pull back. Do the first initial move, pull back, and then go back again. That's how I'm able to make 8 to 10 pips in a move. Okay, so now we're having a retracement because it touched the top PB band. This is, see, it pierced through on this side, and obviously the next candle that came, it's pushing it down. But again, it's not a perfect trade because we don't have a 15-minute arrow, which it would be ideal for us to have. And generally, I don't really need to have a 15 minutes arrow on live candle, as long as I have it on the previous one. But if we look at the previous ones, this is quite far. This is quite far for me. But because obviously we're with the trend and it's so strung up, of course it's working. That's why I said perfect trade for me is with a 15 minutes arrow on the last, maybe third candle back. That would be fine. You don't need to have live arrows on the 15 minutes candle, as long as you have one there to look at. And as long as, of course, the candles have closed above the orange road. Okay, so this is why today I haven't taken a lot of trades, because of this fact that we didn't have a lot of 15 minutes signals. Even though we had a few trades with 5, but I like to take now 8 to 10 bips. I feel like if I take 5, it's not enough, and the commission's too high. I'm probably paranoid. But yeah, that's just me. As newbies, we want 5 pips for now, and we want to see, oh, here we are. So we have the signal on euro, but of course it appeared quite late. See where it's flashing now? It flashed now. That's really high up here. I might take it because it has a 5 with it, and I know it's gonna push through, but we want a good habit, so we're not gonna take it. And as we know, this is gonna have a pullback and it's gonna go straight up. So this 15 minutes, if it lasts, which it will take us back up. So we're just gonna wait for it. And the DX is in, the momentum is in, but again, it's way too high. We need it to come down. So we went for 2 pips now from 0.0 from here, but still it's too high for us. So we need it to come down a bit. And it's gonna come down, don't worry. I'm waiting on a trade on UC down. And I think this is the perfect entry right now. We might have to wait for momentum because there's no momentum. Let's see. No, not yet. Deciding. This is very strong. The yellow red has the power to take it way to the further candles in front of it. So as long as we have this, we're good. Now we get a new 5 minutes. This is still high. Even if it touched the orange road, we needed it to come a bit down like this one came up to here. Okay, so we have this in green, but we don't have this in red. Sometimes I just go without it, but again, we're newbies, and for newbies, we need to wait for momentum, because things like this could happen. Okay, so come on, give us something, give us some momentum. This is a perfect, this would have been a perfect trade, see, from here, but we needed a momentum from 28, I think it was. And for 5 pips to 23, perfect trade. We have the DX, but there's no momentum yet. But I'm feeling with this arrow we're gonna get a momentum soon. That's why we gotta wait. We gotta wait. See, it's pulling back a bit. And also it has a blow happening, so that's a bit difficult, but again, because we have the yellow red with us and the 1 hour, we're pretty safe. That's why it's important to take them from up here. Now, just probably would have taken this way earlier from here and won it, but we're newbies, signals, and we're waiting for momentum in the X. Why? Because you want to get used to, you have to do first the basic trades before you go into the advanced one and the really crazy ones, or maybe not crazy because you're so good at what you do that you can just take trades as you go. But we're newbies, so we have to wait for momentum. Okay, nothing happening on here. This is doing a pullback, which is great. We need that. The 15 minutes is still here, which is a great signal, that a sign that it's gonna go up. I think the 5-minute is gonna come up to here because why? It's in the air. It touched the top of the band and it pierced through. It has to come down. And you also have a blue, so this is a sign that it's gonna come down. GU 15 minutes and 5, same situation. It's doing a pullback, it's coming down. Oh, this is at 3 o'clock already. So let's see. I had an issue there with the internet, I think. Okay, so we're waiting on UC down. So now we have a momentum with us, and we have, I think, no, the DX, we might have it or not. No, I don't think so. But this is a perfect entry. This is a typical perfect entry. See, from here. And look how nice it's going at. It's gonna go down. Okay, this is doing a pullback. Now, if we would see this disappear, this arrow, and we would get momentum, we could take this up because we still have the 15 minutes with us. But it's not happening, so we just have to wait and let them decide. My guess is that it's gonna come up to here, maybe, or not. Let's see. Now look at this, how nice it is. Started from here, from the top, and going to the bottom. And this was at 32 over here. So this could have already, this won already. Now we got a 5 minutes. See, that's nice. And with DX, so we could have gotten in at 24, let's say. Let me go back a bit. Let's see when the DX turned. Six. $25. Even though this is a bit low. And usually I ignore trades like this. Okay, 24. So let's say we got in at 24. $23. So we needed to go to 19. 22. $21, 19, boom. So you already won that. How nice. Was slightly a bit further down, but this was a great trade. Why? You had the 50 minutes with you, had the 1 hour, and you had the 5 small red. We had to wait for the DX, that's why it was such a late trade entry. I'll get it back up so you can see it. So see, the DX was green already. That's why sometimes some of the trades, the really good traders or the MTs go in before DX because they can sense it, they can see it's gonna happen. Why? Because the candle is underneath. The candle is underneath. You have 50 minutes with you. You have 1 hour, so they're not going blindly in. They know what they're doing, and they probably took it off of here as soon as this move up happened, and the candle came here on the red. They knew it's gonna happen down, so they probably took it from here, and I would have taken it from here at 32 and won it at 23, and that's a 10 pip move in one trade that other traders take it for 3 or 5 pips. See how easy that was? But because we only had this DX turn at 24, and we as newbies we have to respect the DX and the moms, we took it at 24, which again, it's good, even if it was about here, because you weren't at the bottom of the BB bands, and you had a 5 with you, and a 15, and a 1 hour. And that was a great 5 pips trade. Now this happened, meanwhile, look at this during this situation. Let's see when this happened. So we could have check to when we could have taken the trade. Oh. Aha, so when the DX turned red, okay, when the DX turned red at 4, and we have the DX with the momentum here, we could have gotten in, and that's at the orange roll. That's still not too far off, but you see this is up at 7, so again we are at the mercy of the top BB bands. We expect, if we take it from here, we expect to wait for the BB band to break. So that's already 2 pips in. Or to bounce at least if it's not breaking, because it's with the trend and we have 15 minutes again with us, it should break it. So we just took two trades, right? The previous one on EU, this one on UC, and I showed you one on GU that wasn't perfect because it didn't have a 15 minutes, but this one on UC was perfect. And I hope you understood that, why I took it. And you've seen it. Okay, let's see EU. What's happening? Okay, so that's it. We won it. Yeah, we took it 4 for 5 pips, and I think it's going now to 9. So that's one sort of example of how I take trades. Obviously, I prefer to take them from the very bottom, but that still worked for me. Okay. Let's see what else we can find. Today wasn't for me, again, like I mentioned, as great as all of these, because we didn't have lots of new 15 minutes arrows, at least not with the trend, even though this is perfect with we're just following the green candles. So we took 2, 3 trades. Let's see another one. If we can find some. It's 3:15 now. The DX is still green, red, meaning that these two are gonna go down, and this is still going up. So we see, even if you had this pink, because of the DX being red, this is still not working yet. But as soon as the DX will change, you be sure that this is gonna work down and it's gonna do a pullback. Unless it disappears, of course. And if it disappears, then, and this is why, again, we do not take trades against the trend. This is definitely a bunghole trade, like BR mentions. So see how nice this is. Probably gonna go for more. Why? Because you're with the trend. You have a 15 minutes with you. The most of the candles closed above the orange road. Closed above the orange road. You waited for the trade to come either to here or to the orange road, and you took it up. And you won 5 pips like that easily. And this is why I prefer for newbies to go with 15 minutes hours, because if anything comes on 5 minutes, like it did now, a 5 pink, super pink, you're not panicking, and you shouldn't, because you have the trend with you, and you have a 15 minutes with you, and you have a 1 hour with you. And that's confirmation that 15 minutes and 1 hour will always win over 5 minutes pink or whatever. And you see it turn into a small red. Now this is gonna happen for sure, because it has to do a pullback. Why? Because it broke the BB bands and it's in the air. But not now, because the DX is still is in our favor. It's still on red. That means green for EU and GU. So you should be safe. This is why you have to take safety measures, like I call them, on 15 minutes. I hope I'm not talking too much. I might be talking too much. I'm sure you're gonna have a lot of fun with me. But I want to really show you how I take trades during a day, and when I see them, okay, this is a trade that I'm excited about, that this is gonna happen. Now, at the beginning, when I saw how early you're supposed to take trades, I was very hesitant, and I lost so many trades, in the sense that I didn't take them. I hesitated for so many times, because I said, oh, let me look at this one and see if it goes. And of course it went, because it was starting from the bottom or from the top. But I got myself into it, and I built the confidence based on the arrows and the trend, and I knew if I go with the perfect setup, there's no way on earth it's gonna disappoint me or go against me. And that's the case, and that's why I'm so obsessive over the 15-minute signals. and the candles positioned, and taking a trade from the blue chart as low as here. Okay, so now the exchange. So this is, now we have a 1 hour red, so this could go both ways, but again it's not safe. Why? Because it's still below, like MT says. So I would take this again, but to the down. And again, you have a 15 minutes with you. We need to wait for our next candle at 3:30 to give us a signal down. Until then, we don't take this again. At least not newbies. Let's see if we can find another one. Let's, okay. Oh, okay. So I think 15 minutes G appeared here, but I don't really like it because it's right on top of the BB band here, and it's at the top here, but I guess it's still gonna work. And you have the moms with you, no momentum, no DX yet. And the previous candle, the signal on 5 minutes is here. So we have the moment, the DX in at 85. I'll tell you when to get in, because I don't get in straight in when I see the error, because it might disappear. I'm just looking for more confirmation. So at 85, we enter at 86, let's say now, and we let it go for 5 pips. Again, I'm not really a fan of this kind of trades because it's very high at the top here, the top here, the top here, and I like to trade trades from the bottom, and I like this to be here below the orange road or right next to the orange road, and this one here as well. I'm not sure if I picked the right one now because of them being all on the top. Let's see. it wasn't a great decision, so scrap that. And I mentioned, of course, that I don't like it because of this reason, because it's so high. Okay, let's see other trades. Let's forward a bit. Now, this would have been a nice trade up, but like Benny mentioned, it's a yellow red with the blue, and I don't like yellow reds with the blue. Even if this worked from 0.1 to 0.7, that's 6 pips already. So I'm gonna wait for 5 minutes up, even if I have a 15 minutes. When you get blues or yellow reds in 5 minutes, even if you have your 15 minutes with you, don't get in. Just don't get in. Let them do their thing and wait for like a small red like this one to work, because they will work, because they're with the trend and they have a 15 minutes with it. But don't just get in if you're a newbie, especially. And see how nice this started from the bottom and all the way up to here. So when just from would say I won this already, and you're like, oh, I just entered now, and obviously you might be, the trade is coming down by now. This is how people lose, and this is how MTs win. And you're thinking, how on earth, and I've done this so many times myself, how on earth does Jazz win when I just get in? I'm like, how? How did he get in? Maybe he broke the rules or whatever, but I learned that that's not the case, that's not true. You need to see the trade, and you need to figure out the trend, that when it's so powerful, you can sometimes take it without certain measures and get in and win it so easily. But as newbies, you need to learn first the basics and to take the perfect trades, which will always be around 5 at least in a day. Like even now, we just did 3, and maybe I was over cautious. I'm sure we could do 2 more. Definitely, we could do 2 more. So yeah, very important to learn the habit of seeing the perfect trades, which start from the bottom or from the top of your bands, with arrows on 5 or 15 minutes, and with the candle positions being either above the orange road for up trades or below for down trades. So nothing happening now. Let's forward a bit. Yeah, see, it's coming down. I think this has touched the orange rod, or it might come further down. Let's wait. Doing the pullback. No signal, so we're not taking it, even if it looks nice. Even if we have this, we have no signal, so we're not taking it. We have a signal now, but what is this dude doing here? And it's quite late now, you see, even if it might win, I don't like it. I don't like when I have a 50 minutes and a 5 against me. It's contradicting, and we don't need that. We definitely don't need that. And you don't know which one's gonna disappear, the 5 or the 15. So we're not gonna risk it, and we're not gonna take it. Okay, what happened over here? Because I think a move happened on. Oh, I see what happened. But we still had an arrow with us on 15 minutes against us. And that's not great. This would have been great from here or from here, as long as this 15 minutes wasn't there. But because it was, even if it has a pink, we can't take it because we're newbies and we need to learn the right way. Okay, let's forward a bit. Now, yeah, I was gonna say if this goes up to here, we could take it, but it didn't, and it went straight down. Again, we didn't take this because it's still high. It's still high. It's still high. And we don't like that. Even if it could have won. trades. Okay. No, don't like that either. I was looking at the EU, but that was there. And it's still quite high here. Now, you can retrace all the way to here, which is good. But we have a momentum green, and that's not a good sign. It's clearly retracing, so we don't know when it's gonna stop. We have to wait for new momentum down, and probably this is gonna go all the way up to here. Let's see. Yep, it's retracing. The same thing with EU and G. You see how nice it only went up to 88. So that would have been only 5 pips, 3 pips. It's not worth the risk for 3 pips. So just wait for it to come all the way down, and then if you get another chance to take it up, which we did, I think at the end, we got another nice chance at 4 o'clock before the happy hour happened. After, sorry. Okay. This is still reversing straight. It's going up. We have a blue on 15 minutes. EU is coming down. Why? Because it touched the top period band. It touched the top period band. It needs to come down to the orange road if we are to look for more ups. Same story on GU. DX is green, so of course this is happening. Let's go a bit forward. Look at these moves. Now, this is something nice that we have here. Why? Oh, I don't like this then. If this wouldn't have been here, it would have been perfect. But yeah, it's sticking there. So if this blue would have disappeared and no pink would have appeared, we could have been looking for a down. Why? Because this went all the way up to here. It touched the orange road. And now we have a red signal, a red candle coming down, and we only had to wait for momentum index to switch, and we could have gone for a nice one, because we're at 25 here, and the B band is at 07 or something. So this is plenty of space for 5 pips, but because of the pink appearing, and this is why it's important when MT says when there's a blue here, like a super blue, do not go against it, because look how easy it can transform into a pink. Very easy. Okay, let's go a bit forward. Still nothing. Still nothing. We're not taking for down, so now we're into happy hour at 3:43. And like MT says, expect during happy hour for the trades to reverse. So if the GU and EU went up all day, they're gonna come down. If the USD was down all day, it's gonna come up, because that's what it happens 90% of the time. And during this happy hour, I lost so many times, or I was stuck in trades of like minus 20, 25. It was so horrible, and I cried so much because of it, until I realized what my mistake was, and that was the freaking entry on the blue chart. I would always enter late, and I would always disconsider some signals when happy hour came, and I would think, nah, it's gonna disappear because the trend is strong, blah blah blah. Like, I never realized that when happy hour comes and when people know for so many years that reversals happen, just stay the hell back. So I had to learn the hard way. I hope you don't do that, and you listen when a happy hour comes and retracements happen. Don't get in, and don't take them either. Why? Why risk it? Even if they go for 9 or 10 pips, no point. Wait for the trend to restart itself at 4 with possible new hour, or don't trade again, because it's quite late at that time. The trades have already happened. You had more than 1 hour and a half to trade and to take enough trades. So don't risk it. No point risking it. Okay, so let's see, what do we have? Stop talking, Anisa. Okay, so we have on previous 50 minutes down. We don't like that. Even if this is a nice super pink, pro traders can take this. We don't. We're newbies, we don't take them, okay? So newbies don't take this because you don't have a 15 minutes with it. EU now has a 1 hour down, so this is changing. We don't touch it anymore. We just put an X on it and we don't touch it. Unless it changes and we have a 15 minutes up and this disappears. And you see it's still going down, so but we have a 15 minutes up on it, so we need an arrow down, and this 5 minutes to go all the way up to the top to the top orange road here, or BB band, and then come down. Okay, let's forward a bit because I don't want to make this very long, even though I have the feeling it's quite long. I've been chatting for a while. Okay. When did this appear? Oh, but I'm chatting, so I can't really take it. Now, that was a nice one. The GU. 15 minutes. But because I'm chatting, I can't really show it to you. Anisa. So, when did it appear? I think now. But you see, it was quite late. It was quite late. Why? Because look where it is when it appeared on the top BB band here, and we would have preferred to take it from here or from here, and this has probably done its job, so we have to wait. Okay. Okay, so it's coming down. Oh, okay. So this is where I entered and I took another 5 pips on here. And I'll tell you why. Again, I was chatting and I can't show you. So as soon as this red candle came down here, and the green candle appeared and it leveled out with this one, and we still had momentum. I knew this was gonna go for higher, and again, look, it touched the orange road. This gave me 5 pips. but it's not really a trade for newbies because you don't have the DX with you. Now you have the DX, but I think it happened during while I was chatting. So I took it at 80, and here we are at 85. So I took it here, and it won over here, and it probably went to 87 or 86 because you can see it pierced through. And why I was safe? Because I had 50 minutes with me and a 5, and the trend was still there. And of course, I got in a bit early, so I didn't have the DX with me. But because it's such a strong trend, I had the 15, I had the 5. Both candles finished above the orange road. This finished above the orange road, even if it had a pink. This is above the orange road. This showed me clearly that it's gonna go up, and I trusted it, and I entered with the mom. So that was a good trade, 5 pips. Now EU is not the same case. Why? Because you have 50 minutes down. It tested already, and it's going through. It's gone through the downside. Still, it's not great because you don't have a 50 minutes with you, and this is a yellow red. Now, when you see again the same story, we don't have a 50 minute signal down. We still have this. Even though it closed below, which is a good signal that it's still gonna go down. See? Even if it closed below, we still can't take it, because then we have a 1 hour with this, and this is strong, and we don't want to go against it. And I think I mentioned that this is not a perfect trade for me, even if it's a good trade and it could have won. So I'm only looking for 15 minutes, like so, with 5, and with trades taken from down here or from here all the way to up for 5 pips. Again, 15 minutes with arrow on 5 or not, from down here all the way up to here. 15 minutes from here on 5, and with the 5 from here, with a top signal on the blue charts from here. This is what we're looking all day for. as soon as we establish the trend, of course. I think that's it. There's no other good trade. We were just talking. Yeah, this is coming down and this is going up. And I don't want to take this up because the long terms are one down on the 4-hour, down on the daily, and down on weekly. And I don't like to go against those three, even if we have 1 hour up with it. I don't go against that. Okay, so I guess this is it for me. Yeah, there's no other. Oh, we have a 15 minutes that appear now. But we don't have DX. Let's see if this works. And it's at a great price over here, because it's from 28 to 24. That's almost 5 pips, which is a good thing. Now, if we have DX and momentum, we get it. But it's kind of late this time. And we can't really expect, and the beaver band is pointing up, and you can't really expect this time in the hour at 4:16 for trades to win and be great. But they do sometimes. By this time, I'm probably just chatting and relaxing and not really taking trades. Okay. So we still have no DX or momentum. Even though it started from 28 and it's already 25. Let's see, do we have any? No. We don't have any DX. So no trade. Even if it won from 28 to 23, that was nice 5 pips. And I'm sure Jazz would have taken this, or BR. Even I would have taken this, but this is a newbie video and you need to understand when to take them with the momentum, with the DX, momentum DX, with the signal, with the trend, and with the arrow down. Okay, so that's it for me. My next, oh, actually, wait. I have one more to show you on GU. Look at this. Sorry, I have to show as much as I can so you can understand what I'm coming from. Okay, so I'm guessing when the DX changed, this happened. So let's wait for that to happen. And this is perfect entry because it's below. So let's wait for this to happen. And I think Jess was mentioning that he wanted GU and UC at the end. Okay. That's wait. So it's at 78, 79. We need to wait for the signal to show up, and then we can take it. Come on. Oh, 5 minutes appeared first. Then it disappeared. Oh, no, there it was. Okay. Not sure if this went for 5 pips. It did. Kind of. Let's see when did it appear. It's kind of tight at the end of the day to try and take a trade like that. And to be sure that it's gonna win because it's, you know, it's late and the trades, the markets are tired now at this point and they don't really want to go up again. So it started at 81, which is a great entry here, but this is kind of pointing down, even though you could break it easily. And I don't think it went to 86. It didn't look like, because it's, you know, it's quite late, but this would have been a perfect trade if it would have happened at 2 o'clock. Definitely. Gone up to 83. Still chatting. Yeah. 84. But this 5 minutes appeared and probably didn't pierce it through because it's quite late now and came down, most likely. Yeah. Nothing. 84. Okay, it's pushing through even if it's late. 85. So that's already almost 5 pips. That you could have just taken. Yep, 80. And you went to 86 just now. Now let me show you again the entry so you can memorize it and have it in your head. Let's wait for it. Let's wait for it. So we're waiting for the 15 minutes. Boom! Look at this beauty. It appeared now, straight away, 81. We had a 5 with it. We don't really need it. We have a DX, a momentum with us, and the DX is red. So even if this is flashing, it doesn't matter because this is red, and this is definitely showing that it's gonna go up. So easily could have entered here, even though it's still a bit high, but still perfect because you had to wait for your momentum in DX. You could have taken it from here, but that meant you didn't have the momentum or the DX to take it, and you didn't have the 15 minutes either, and you had the previous yellow, which is again a risky, dangerous thing. So no. And even if you enter down here at the orange road, you saw earlier that it took you to 86 and it was 5 pips easy, and it was also at the end of the day. So this is what you have to look for. Trades from down here all the way up to the Habibi band with 50-minute signal and 5 yes or no, but as long as you have a 50 minutes with you, the trade will always go up because of the trend. And another thing you have to always check for is where did the previous candle close? Is it above? It's above. It's above. Is it below? It's below. It's below. It's below. This is how we know the trajectory of the direction, the trajectory of the trade. If it's gonna go up, continue up, or go down. And of course, as soon as this candle closed above, you could have expected this to open above because this also closed above. So when this happens, the next candle that opens, it opens above, and you then expect a signal on to the upside, and there you go, a trade up. Also check the blue chart, orange road. Is it pointing up? It's pointing up. Is it pointing down? It's pointing down. That's giving you a sign trades are gonna go. And that's it for me. I'm gonna wait for a better day to show you how I'm trading live and how I'm taking this trades live from down here to down there, or from up here to down here. So I hope this is gonna happen either this week or next week, but meanwhile this video I'm sure will help a lot of you, because this is what Jess looks at, and other people in the room like PR and Mercy, they look to get in as low as possible, and to get in sometimes even before Mons or DX, because they're so good at it. But because you are newbies, you need to learn to get in when the DX and the momentum switches. That's it for me. Love you guys and see you in the room. Bye.